Is your favorite clothing brand about to disappear forever? In a shocking turn of events, some of America's most iconic fashion retailers are facing unprecedented decline, with sales plummeting and stores closing at an alarming rate. As of March 2025, 15 major clothing brands are experiencing a mass exodus of customers, and the reasons behind this retail apocalypse will surprise you. The retail landscape is undergoing a seismic shift, and it's not just about the rise of e-commerce anymore. According to the latest National Retail Federation data, consumer spending on apparel has dropped by 17% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period last year. This dramatic decline is hitting traditional retailers particularly hard, with some legendary brands facing potential bankruptcy. Let's start with Gap Inc., once the epitome of American casual wear. The company has reported a staggering 28% decline in same-store sales across all its brands in the past 6 months. Their flagship brand, Gap, has closed 230 stores since January 2025, and industry analysts predict another 150 closures by year's end. The company's stock has plummeted 45% year-to-date, marking its lowest point in 2 decades. Abercrombie & Fitch, despite its attempted rebrand in 2023, is struggling to maintain relevance. Their latest quarterly earnings report shows a 22% decline in revenue, with customer retention rates dropping to historic lows. The brand's attempt to appeal to Gen Z has largely failed, with social media sentiment analysis showing a 65% negative perception rate among consumers aged 18 to 24. Victoria's Secret has faced declining market share due to increased competition from inclusive and sustainable brands, prompting efforts to revamp its image. In 2021, its parent company, L Brands, spun off Victoria's Secret into a separate, publicly traded company, Victoria's Secret & Co., while rebranding itself as Bath & Body Works, Inc. Although the brand previously struggled with outdated beauty standards, it has since introduced more diverse models and marketing strategies to appeal to modern consumers. Express, once a mall staple, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last month after closing 150 stores nationwide. Their loyalty program membership has decreased by 40% year-over-year, signaling a significant shift in consumer preferences away from their fast fashion business model. H&M, despite its size and global presence, is facing serious challenges. The Swedish fast fashion giant has seen a 25% decline in North American sales, with customer satisfaction scores dropping to their lowest levels since tracking began in 2010. Environmental concerns and sustainability issues have driven away younger consumers, with recent surveys showing that 72% of Gen Z shoppers actively avoid the brand due to its environmental impact. Forever 21, even after its 2021 restructuring, continues to struggle. The brand has lost 35% of its regular customers in the past year alone, with social media engagement down 60%. Their attempt to pivot to sustainable fashion has been met with skepticism, and their core demographic is increasingly turning to second-hand and vintage alternatives. American Eagle Outfitters reported a concerning 19% drop in customer retention rates, with their once popular Aerie subdivision showing signs of market saturation. The company's recent earnings call revealed plans to close 200 underperforming locations by 2026. Banana Republic, another Gap Inc. brand, has seen its customer base shrink by 27% since 2024. Their attempt to reposition as a luxury brand has failed to resonate with consumers, resulting in a 33% decline in store traffic and a 42% drop in online sales. Urban Outfitters is experiencing a significant decline in its core demographic, with customer acquisition costs rising by 85% year over year. Their parent company reported a $150 million loss in Q1 2025, primarily attributed to changing consumer preferences and increased competition from digital native brands. J.Crew, despite its 2020 bankruptcy reorganization, continues to struggle with customer retention. The brand has lost 38% of its loyal customers since 2024, with market research indicating that their price point and styling no longer align with consumer expectations. Uniqlo's aggressive expansion plans in the U.S. market have hit a major roadblock, with customer acquisition rates 45% below projections. The Japanese retailer has closed 25% of its U.S. locations in the past 8 months, citing poor performance and changing consumer preferences. Zara's parent company, Inditex, reported its first ever quarterly loss in the American market, with customer retention rates dropping by 29%. The fast fashion giant's sustainability claims have been challenged by environmental groups, leading to a significant backlash from conscious consumers. Old Navy, typically Gap Inc., its strongest performer, has seen its customer base erode by 24% since late 2024. Their attempt to capture market share through aggressive discounting has resulted in reduced margins and decreased brand value perception. Finally, Anthropologie has experienced a 31% decline in its core customer base, with social media engagement dropping by 55% year over year. The brand's high price point and lack of size inclusivity have been cited as major factors in their declining popularity. The reasons behind these dramatic shifts are multifaceted. According to recent consumer behavior studies, 68% of shoppers now prioritize sustainability in their purchasing decisions, up from 42% in 2023. Additionally, the rise of e-commerce platforms has captured 27% of the traditional retail market share, with younger consumers increasingly preferring secondhand and vintage options. Economic factors also play a crucial role. With inflation rates hovering around 4.2% and disposable income growth stagnating, consumers are becoming more selective with their clothing purchases. The latest Federal Reserve Consumer Spending Report indicates that 45% of Americans have reduced their discretionary spending on apparel in the past year. Digital transformation failures have contributed to these brands' decline. While e-commerce sales have grown by 34% industry-wide, these struggling retailers have seen their online conversion rates drop by an average of 28%. Their inability to create compelling omni-channel experiences has left them vulnerable to digital native competitors. The future looks uncertain for these once dominant retailers. Industry analysts predict that without significant strategic overhauls, at least 5 of these brands could cease operations by 2026. The key to survival will likely depend on their ability to adapt to changing consumer values, embrace sustainable practices, and create authentic connections with younger demographics. For consumers, this retail transformation presents both challenges and opportunities. While beloved brands may disappear, new, more sustainable and inclusive alternatives are emerging. The question remains, which of these struggling giants will successfully reinvent themselves, and which will become cautionary tales in retail history? As we continue to monitor these developments, one thing is clear: the traditional retail landscape is changing forever, and consumers are driving this transformation through their choices and values. The next few months will be crucial for these brands' survival, and their ability to adapt will determine whether they can regain their former glory or join the growing list of retail casualties.